Yeah. Wargaming has announced that they are testing changes to carrier mechanics with anti-air. Yay. This is their second or third test. And I say second or third because we know of the one that was publicly done earlier. And, well, we haven't seen another public one since, but I'm sure they've done things internally to try to work on proof of concept and that sort of thing. We streak with pride. That's the spirit. Looks like they're still trying to determine if they will be bumping the thing up or not, so... looks like, yeah, they have had internal tests, yeah. They postponed a public test on a separate test server until the end of March, beginning of April. Okay. And they're going to do a closed test. I totally don't know anything about a closed test as a super tester pudding. Let's have a quick...
Did I miss out on something in there? Because I haven't tested this news. I just don't...
Now, don't break any NDAs here. Let's move on. Quick recap. New design aims to reduce...
I don't know how they think this is good.
Reduce spotting overall, remove unintentional spotting by aircraft. I mean, that's nice. As well as make anti-air more impactful while ensuring aircraft carriers remain viable in battles. Okay. I mean, to me, that's all good stuff. That resolves the problems that players have because they feel like they can't do anything with anti-air against planes. And the other part is you get spotted by... I mean, we saw this yesterday in that same replay with the Hoffman, right? His anti-air was on. Because his anti-air reached at 6.9 giggity kilometer, he got detected. And was forced to, take torpedoes and lost the game because of that. Anyway, after the first public test, we outlined additional improvements we wanted to achieve. Make the new design more intuitive by better informing ships when planes pose a threat to them and when they don't. That's kind of interesting. Like, hey, dummy, planes are coming. I don't know. Anyway, improving interaction speed in ships and aircraft, making them easier to understand. Okay. Make changes to some of the older systems tied to aircraft for better quality of life and provide room for future improvements. So does that mean they're getting rid of the Soviet carrier line? Anyway.
No.
Because, those ships just ignore pretty much all anti-air. Same thing with Immelmann, right? And a couple other ships. Anyways, several important changes have been implemented since last test. We briefly mentioned them here and talk further in depth later on. Before I continue, just so y'all know, chat, I haven't read this, okay? I haven't looked at any videos. I don't care. Usually when it comes to this kind of stuff, I don't really do react videos or anything because, frankly, most of the time the test stuff gets changed anyways, and most people that do react videos are just farming YouTube, clickbait and time and ad revenue. Anyway, shell explosions flak have been completely removed. Huh? Okay. Actually, I kind of like this because flak has always been something that differentiates good carrier players from bad carrier players, right? The bad ones just fly straight through flak and get themselves wrecked, and the good ones make it look like flak doesn't matter at all. So I mean,
my only problem with flak really is like the black cloud. Like if somebody's got the like you can't see the ship because it's literally hidden behind the flak. Like that's my only problem really with the flak.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you just turn a little bit, do some dodging, it's fine. But it's like you're doing all that while trying to keep your eye on the ship, and like there's so much flak that it's like, oh, okay, this is going to be a bad drop because I didn't catch him turning.
Right. Mystery 350. Yeah, I'm not sure what they're saying in the rules there about Moskva and replacement and Nevsky. I think they meant to say the Petropavlovsk, but then they just wrote Nevsky. Recon mode won't be restored while flying. It will be separate for each squadron. Can only be restored while your squadron is not in active use. So this was something that they put together last time, was that planes could go into recon mode essentially to spot for themselves, right? To look for targets to attack. And then they come out of recon mode and go into attack mode or something like that. Manual anti-air will combine old and new designs, 360 degrees, and buffing anti-air damage. I like this because so many times a plane squadron comes in and you reinforce one sector and then have to turn in that way, and then now you've reinforced the wrong sector. That's kind of nice. Offensive AA fire won't prevent planes from spotting anymore. Won't prevent planes from spotting anymore, and instead will work as it currently does on the live server. Okay, so they dropped that part of defensive anti-air. Ships with defensive anti-air will also get a new consumable in the same slot. So you have to choose now between defensive anti-air or this new consumable, which is essentially like a shields up. I've seen the picture of it. It's literally a shield. Like, shields up, Captain! Chat, I'm going to ask you... I'm just going to ask you guys... Next game, you tell me, because we have what we've got scheduled, which is E-Rare Moyai at 16:30, or we've got TWA Elser at 16:15, so we can start 15 minutes earlier if we do that instead. I'll put it on a 10-minute poll, guys. You tell me what you'd prefer. Hi, Tunip. If we start earlier, if we start on the earlier one, then that means we have a better chance of catching another game afterwards, and there's less time in between. Consumable directly decreases incoming damage to all aircraft types of torpedoes. Interesting, the all types of torpedoes one. This makes defensive anti-air fire even less useful. Because you just... Actually, it's kind of nice, because when you're stuck as a battleship playing against... Jaegers or something, and you've got defensive anti-air fire, now you can just pop a thing. Patrol fires, air combat patrol, fighters can't spot ships. That's fine.
Okay, like, no offense. Why is that not in the game right now? Like, what is the delay on putting that mechanic into this game? Because I like, along with everyone's like other issues, I think 90% of it literally comes from, oh, there's a DD, I'll just drop a fighter to keep them spotted.
Right.
Like, that right there, quite literally, if you just did that, you could take another 4 years and people wouldn't be up in arms.
Various UI improvements have been implemented to make the mechanics easier to navigate both service ships and carrier players. Okay. Hybrid ships will have their aircraft behave in the same way as those originating from aircraft carriers. This is a big win. Because this is the biggest problem that people have with hybrid ships, is that they just did it, did regular carrier stuff. Okay.
I think so many games yesterday, there'd be a CV, and then, oh look, the other team's got a hybrid. Great, they get the extra carrier at tier 10. That gives them the huge advantage over spotting. Like, I wish there was a way to hybrids had their own symbol, so they wouldn't be thrown into carrier games.
No. We've asked Wargaming so many times, community contributors, you all have asked us players, can you please balance out radars? Can you please balance out hybrids? Because they keep adding all these different kind of classes within classes, right? So, they haven't been willing to do that, and that's fine. It's their game. They can do what they want. We can choose whether to play it or not. Or support it with spending money or not. That sort of thing. Changes to carriers. Overall concept hasn't changed. Aircraft will operate in 3 distinct modes. Travel, attack, recon, each with its own goals and rules. Travel mode. When in travel mode, your planes operate at high altitudes. You won't be able to spot enemy ships directly, relying instead on spotting from your teammates to identify targets, but you can still detect enemy aircraft. At the same time, your planes can be spotted by other planes and surface ships. Okay. Planes move faster in this mode, allowing you to reach targets quickly and enjoy more dynamic gameplay experience. So it's kind of like the U-4501 mechanic, right? When you dive underwater, you are magically faster. So when planes go to high altitude, they are magically faster as well. It's thinner air, right? So easier for them to go through. What did I miss? How's tournament going? So far you've missed 2 teams forfeiting on the first day of playoffs because they just didn't want to show, but one team decided to show, the other one still couldn't show. You can digitally adjust the speed using W and S keys. Planes are safe from anti-air fire while in travel mode. That's kind of interesting. Though they can still be damaged by fighters and interceptors. Okay. Non-player controlled aircraft such as fighters do not use this mode and remain vulnerable to anti-air fire. Non-player controlled aircraft such as fighters do not use this mode. Okay, I get it. Pressing F at high altitude will return the entire squadron to the carrier. We're bringing back the speedometer for better control of aircraft as well, enhancing the aiming UI to make it feel more traditional flight simulators. Ooh. Since engine boost bar was removed, your ability to increase your speed is no longer limited during travel. A new consumable that increases maximum speed of aircraft in all 3 modes will be introduced. Okay. Better differentiate between modes. We're adding special UI visual elements that would provide additional information about the current altitude of your planes. So I see the new consumable down here. I see they've used planes. This is midway. And I don't... Oh, okay, travel mode. I see it. So he's in travel mode here. I think. Hard to tell from... It looks like he's going between or something. I don't know. Recon mode is a new tool specifically meant for spotting. When activated, a flight of planes will detach from your squadron. That's not a flight of planes, okay. And briefly descend from travel mode to spot opponents like planes currently can. However, your planes will become vulnerable to anti-air. You can activate it by pressing Q while in travel mode. Each squadron has a recon mode timer that depletes while in use. The attacking flight in recon mode is destroyed. You switch back to the remaining squadron if there are any planes left, and the timer stops. After that, you can start another recon run if there's still recon time left. You have a specific amount of time. You can enter recon mode at any point as long as it has more than 0 seconds. However, if you run out of time, planes will automatically return to travel mode. So, this is very powerful if you're in a division with somebody who's got radio location, right? Because that person can click on the minimap and outline a pattern, and then just do, that thing. In this iteration, we made some UI improvements to help you understand the mechanics as timers are displayed near reticle. Where's the timer?
Oh, the binocular.
Is that... Oh, yeah, I see it now. Okay, 20 seconds, 19. Okay. Only way to replenish timers to return planes to the carrier. This encourages carriers to rotate their squadrons in battle. So that's interesting. If they spend too much time in recon mode, then that's it. Right? Can you go into attack mode from travel, though? Recon mode can't be immediately activated or deactivated. There's a delay to avoid dolphining. That's good. Thank you. Please do this for subs, by the way. Anyway, if you see a suitable target, you start the attack from recon mode. However, it will still require some prep time. You can start the attack. So if you have no time left in recon, you can't start an attack. Manual control of guns is going to be fun. Control largest caliber guns for mixed secondaries. Once you launch your planes, consumable will become automatic again. Let's see how the vote's going. Yeah, you guys want TWA. That's fine. And congratulations, Real Durans, for the victory. Alright. Uh-huh. So, give me a second. I need to just put us down for... Oh, hey, we're up here anyways. No, that was Moya Ordis. Okay, cool. So, I'm just going to go like... at this point, I'm just going to sign us up for both and say... F it. Whatever. Go back to the Devblog. Alright, surface ships have more ways to fight against aircraft. We've revamped existing anti-tools and introduced new ones. A defense reinforcement, you activate it pressing O, and it takes effect within your anti-air range. Instantly deals percentage of damage. Okay. Additionally, it temporarily buffs all continuous A. So it's like priority sector. In fact, to gradually get weaker over its duration. So priority sector was the opposite. It ramped up in strength. This time it goes the other way around.
You didn't go over the manual control of carrier guns.
I mentioned it. Why? What's wrong with it? Oh, maybe I tabbed out and got... Okay.
If you're controlling the carrier, you can now control your damage control party consumable.
Yeah, that's huge. You must manually use damage control party. Once you launch your planes, it's automatic again. As part of this change, settings of fires on air. I wonder if they're gonna make that a thing for hybrids. Settings of fires on aircraft carriers were adjusted to be closer to those on battleships. Okay, so they have battleship duration now. They last longer, do more damage in total, but in turn, carriers cannot be relit on fire constantly, which led to higher damage compared to a battleship fire before. Duration is 45 seconds. Okay. After reviewing your feedback, we decided to combine the best of old and new designs of this mechanic. When activated, it will cover the whole anti-air area and around the ship and buff AA damage. Okay. Automatic anti-air is a new defensive tool to discourage aircraft from repeatedly targeting the same ship. Hey, that's neat. While your anti-air is shooting enemy aircraft, a special progress bar will passively charge up. Similar to combat instructions, though, in this iteration, the progress won't decay even if you don't damage enemy planes for a while. Oh, I like that a lot, actually. Once your progress reaches 100%, a passive bonus to anti-air damage automatically activates. After activation, automatic AA will start losing its charge. If it's not attacking planes because there are no nearby planes, or if anti-air is disabled or broken, it will happen slower than if it's actively damaging them. There's no limit on how many times automatic AA can be activated in a battle, though you won't get any change while automatic AA is already active. Aircraft can see automatic AA if it enters its radius. It'll have different visual effects. Side note, I hate when they do this. I'm colorblind. I struggle to see orange versus yellow or orange versus red for like if somebody's using defensive anti-air or not. I can't tell. So if they use colors, that's bad for me. But whatever. This is fine. I don't have a problem with this. Puddin', what do you think?
This all comes down to how effective AA actually is, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
let's be honest, you get a div, other flinging his HE to destroy AA, so what happens if all your AA's dead?
Game is up, by the way. We're gonna go to TWA versus ELSR, and we'll stay here. We'll do the full series, and then go from there.
Well, I mean, you said we had like 45 minutes.
Yeah. Well, now we have less time. We have 6 minutes.
Oh, thank God.
Which reminds me, I should do a commercial break just to clear that out. A new conceal will be introduced for. Defensive anti remains unchanged. We've chosen to preserve original mechanic. New conceal will be introduced for testing preparation for a strike. Directly reduces incoming damage from rockets, bombs. Yeah, that's the shields up thing. Yeah, lol. We want to provide more versatile tools. I mean, honestly, this is going to help any ship instead, like that hates subs or destroyers, right? With the torps. So this will be really handy. Honestly, it'll be helpful for something that's like a battleship jousting another battleship, or a cruiser jousting another cruiser with torpedoes, right?
You keep
Although
saying
that-
like, are they giving battleships this new consumable?
No,
Because
it's for any ship that
replacing-
has defensive anti-air.
yeah, and how many battleships have defensive AA? It's very few
Not a
and far
ton.
between.
Not a ton, but there are some that do. I'm thinking of
Yeah.
Thunder, or I'm thinking of Vermont, for example.
Yeah, I would definitely take the
Mm-hmm.
eat less damage from torpedoes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, again, you found another way to devalue defensive anti-air fire. I don't like that.
I know Grunty complained about it, but bring back the old DAA where it panicked.
Mm-hmm.
Like it also like have it do all this other damage, and also panic the fighters so they can't get the tight or attack planes, so they don't get the tight spread.
That's right.
Right. Grunty's argument was, well, how would you like that if you shoot at ships? It's literally built into the game, the dispersion thing. It was on camos.
Mm-hmm.
You were less accurate on a ship that had a camo compared to one that didn't. Now it's literally just baked in that for whatever reason,
Right.
everybody's less accurate.
Right.
Except for freaking carrier. So give that back to the defensive AA.
Honestly, I think that would help. That would certainly help with, finding ways to, to deal
Bring
with.
back value to it.
Right. Exactly. That's what I was trying to say, but I'm also trying to set up for the next game that's in a few minutes. But yeah, so that would absolutely add more value. That would bring something back to defensive anti-air. Other changes. We got 4 minutes. Make things more consistent. Address very popular feedback point amongst our community. Patrol fighters won't be able to spot ships. Cool. Napoli and Napoli B will get spotting aircraft in the same slot as fighter to still have an opportunity to detect opponents. I like this. That's cool. UI improvements. Support these changes to some UI improvements that are required.
You know
Okay.
why they have to give it spotting aircraft?
Why?
Fighters don't spot anymore.
I know. Right, because the fighter won't spot,
Yeah.
so that's why they're giving a spotting. That's fine.
That's a huge buff to Napoli because spotter goes out further.
It goes out further, lasts longer, giggity, and on top of that, it extends the range and technically it increases dispersion or improves dispersion for closer targets. So it's an all-around buff to Napoli. Drawing battleship squadron in travel mode won't be considered a threat until it starts descending. At that moment, this applies only controlled by aircraft. Aircraft is a significant distance regardless of mode. Indicator color will be orange. See, this is orange red. See, that's what I hate that. I will have trouble with this. Now, fortunately, the mod community will fix that for me, and like the radar warning mod I use will warn me if planes are nearby or something. Concealment changes. Fires universally increase the ship's detectability by 2 km. Okay. All right, so I have finished reading over the entire Devblog, and guys, I am upset. I'm gonna quit the game over this because this just makes too much sense. Whatever. I don't mind that they're doing this. It's taken them a long time to do it. I'm glad that they're doing something. I look forward to seeing how it plays out in the closed test. I hope it is successful enough to where Wargaming will bring it to the open test and allow players like all of you tuning in to try it out and see how it is. But I think overall this is going to be better for the game. I don't think it's perfect. I think defensive anti-air needs something else. It needs a bone because everybody's just going to go for preparation for a strike instead. It's the only thing I see. Like that's the big glaring problem I see so far with this.
I mean, I like that they're finally saying, like, from the testing, like, the changes, like they're taking their time. But for crying out loud, I don't care how much testing you need. Just literally take fighter spotting away. How hard is that? You will literally make everybody happy. And then it'll just be like, okay, we understand you're working on everything else, but thank God the carrier now has to decide, fly his plane around me and slowly lose them to keep me spotted or attack and do damage. Like,
it's nice.
You know, just like, oh, I flew over to DD. Oh, here, enjoy my fighter.
Right. Right. Those days will be gone. I think overall it's going to be a better change. Carriers' damage numbers will be reined in because of it. And they're going to be forced to spread out their damage more and target other ships, so it's not the same thing over and over again. Ah, yes, Wisconsin also has defensive anti-air. See, now for Wisconsin, that's a great buff. Right? Like,
it's huge.
Anyway. St. Vincent, good point. Yeah, see, there's plenty of battleships with defensive. And then cruisers, of course. Pretty much any cruiser can choose between defensive or hydro. I'd still take hydro in that case, though.
Hydro is just too it's too universal. Like, it's not... Like, it will be good literally in every game to where... Granted, the torpedo thing will literally be good in every game, but it's like... I can't spot what's torpedoing me. I think I'd rather kill the thing because then I take 0 damage from its torpedoes.
Yeah, right. But then you got like Salem that has an automatic defensive anti-air fire. So Salem gets a buff to its, resistance to torpedoes.
Oh my God.
I know, it's going to be OP.
Dirty that's going to be rushing.
You add
I
that. I mean, it's going to become one of the ultimate sub killers, right? Because you can put it in hydro and you can slot in the damage reduction. So you just go after subs and they fire torpedoes at you, and you don't have your DCP available to stop the ping. You just put your shields up. Anyway, chat, it's about time to get started. You all voted for TWA ELSR, so we are going to do that, and then we'll pick up whatever is left over when we are finished. Let's refresh this and see. Okay, they haven't automatically put the Giat forfeit in yet, but okay. TWA is entering the room, and ELSR is
no,
not.
it's in there. The XFQ yacht that forfeit's in there.
Correct, but what I'm saying is XFQ showed up for losers bracket round 1. Giat has not. So technically, Giat is forfeited loser bracket round 1. So whoever loses this grouping fights XFQ, who hasn't even played a game yet, and advanced to losers bracket round 2. It does seem complicated, yes. It does seem complicated, but
Well,
I
no,
think
no,
the
no.
problem... What?
Wargaming literally said at the beginning of their thing they were making it easier, so it's not complicated.
Yeah, and then, yeah.
Like, I think it was funny while I was playing with Thurback yesterday. Yorktown popped its fighter over me while I was playing a DD to keep me spotted. And I'm like, is this guy an idiot?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, I just sailed a little bit that way and it wasn't spotting me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I'm saying, just take it away. Just tell the players, listen, fighters don't spot anymore. Don't use them to protect the fleet.
Which is nice because that frees up carriers to use those planes better or more, at least like you said, more defensively. So
I mean, I think this is probably blasphemy to 90% of the people. Just get rid of fighters completely from carriers, because in the game they're supposed to be doing damage. Like, you want to protect the fleet? I don't know. Find an AA buddy.
mm-hmm.
Oh wait, AA doesn't work, and neither do the fighters. Like, I think that's like the spotting mechanic from the fighters is what upsets players, and the lack of them latching onto a plane at any reasonable time is also upsets the players.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So just get rid of the fighters. Problem solved. Nobody can complain about them no more. So for the carrier who can't spot anything.
I mean, this goes back to even in the RTS days. That was my feedback to Wargaming too. Stop with this whole carrier fights carrier BS and just focus on damage. That's what every other ship in the game is focused for. Damage. You don't see any ship in the game that literally just goes around and smokes friends and that's it. All of them have guns. All of many of them have torps. And the point is to grab parts of the map and shoot and kill things. So why do you have carriers that have this like little sub mini game where they have to go and strafey each other? It's just BS. So, then they went to this RTS style, or the current style, the rework style, but planes are still like the planes can still, contest each other with the fighters, and then of course, like you said, now they can spot too. So, yeah. I don't know. I just feel like it's easier. And to be quite honest, the other thing that helps with that is when you get into a game and there's a carrier friend on your team, you almost always expect those planes to be over you 24/7. And it's like, no, the carrier needs to do their thing. So there should not be an expectation of, your fighter belongs to me and is always circling above me. And let's be real, an advanced Super Unicum carrier player doesn't give two craps about a fighter that's up over you. They'll strike you anyway. They'll strike you, and then they'll F off, or they'll turn their planes away before that fighter even latches. What's the point?
Well, I mean, at this point, people that can remember to send their ASW out are just dealing with the fighters. Oh, look, they're gone.
Mm-hmm. And yes, that's a very good point, Collection. Both teams banned Shatter. Thank God.
What a bunch of jerks.
A bunch of jerks.
They must hate German battleships.
Make the game more cartoony. There you go. All right, I guess I can add a Devblog. I guess I can add a Zath reacts to the AA Devblog content as well. Why not, right?
Might as well get the clickbaits while you can.
Yep, I called everybody else out for doing it, and I just did it.
That is the YouTube way.
Oh my God.